Hello everyone, I am Aditya Sharma and you are watching German class. Today we are not going to learn German language. I'm not teaching anything, but yes, this session is going to be very useful for all of you because today we have with us Manuel from Germany and this is Manuel. Please introduce yourself to our viewers.
Yes, thank you very much, Aditya. Thank you for having me today. My name is Manuel.
Welcome.
I'm the founder of Squicker. We are a social startup helping Indian students to study in Germany in public universities without student fees. It's our mission to help Indian students to study abroad, to study in Germany particularly, without having to use an expensive consultancy, and also without having to use like watching hundreds of videos and trying to crawl all through the websites to get an idea how to do it. We have made our mission to give you a free app where you can guide yourself, having a community to ask questions, and just basically figure out the process yourself without having to pay a lot of money or having the fear to be ripped off. That's our mission, what we do.
Thank you so much for your very informative and useful introduction. And our viewers and audience must be very happy and they are very delighted that today we are going to have this sort of small interview and small talk with you.
Yes.
So on the behalf of our audience from India, I'm representing all my students and viewers and audience who watch me every day and who learn German here on this platform. They just want to have some question regarding the admission process. So I'm just asking on their behalf,
Sure.
Why Germany? If we have the options like US and UK in 21st century, so why they should go to Germany in order to study?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good question, and we get it asked a lot. Actually, it breaks down to one thing basically, and that is fees. While in the US, for example, or Australia or Canada or UK, you have excellent universities, but the quality of education is the same in Germany, but the fees are much lower. The tuition fees are much lower. While in Germany, there's only one province where you have a tuition fee of 1,500 euros. The rest of the provinces, like all other 15 provinces, they're free. So you basically pay only between 200 to 300 euro administration fee per semester. And that's all. That means basically if you have 2 years, you pay 600 a year at 1,200 euros per for this 2 years for your whole education. Additionally, you have to pay for of course, like every other thing like housing and food and stuff like that. But for like roughly 1,500 euros for 2 years of education, there's no other place where you will get that. Like in UK, you have to at least expect, I don't know, 10,000 a year and 20,000 for the US, I guess.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's
Perfect.
why Germany for fees, and also the expectations are really high. Like you can do a lot of things when you get your master, for example, your master degree. Right, Germany is a society which becomes older and older, which means there's a lot of young talents needed, especially, for example, in engineering or computer science. You will have perfect conditions actually for your start.
All right. Very good information. You mean to say that at very low amount, very low cost, just a negligible amount, I would say, a student can have a wonderful education, a world-class quality education in Germany.
Yeah.
So this is the reason.
German universities, there's 10 universities of Germany which are ranked in the top 100. And while for German companies, the ranking does not really matter because they're more focused on the personal on a personal level of the student. It shows actually like those ranking actually shows that Germany is actually comparable with all other countries.
Perfect. Very good information. I hope this is going to be a trademark and a very essential information for all the students who are looking forward to study in Germany. It means that you can go and study in Germany and get the world-class education at a very nominal fee.
Yeah.
Very good.
I mean, it's even cheaper than sometimes in India, right?
Exactly. Yes, it might be cheaper because in India, we know that there are so many private institutions, private colleges that charge very thick amount.
Yeah.
Maybe in terms of tuition fee or admission fee, whatever we can say. But Germany is one of the topmost destination nowadays in entire Europe, I would say. I should say that in the entire world. Now it's an emerging country in terms of higher education. It's a topmost study destination. All right. So the next question, very, very important. Being a German language trainer here and teaching German since over a decade now, my question is that, is the German language compulsory or the role of German language if
Yeah.
a student wants to study in Germany?
Yeah.
Can you please throw some light on that?
Absolutely. So in general, if you don't, usually when you come from India, you don't speak German, which is perfectly fine because most of the masters or a lot of masters, they are in English. There's roughly 150 different courses in English, and it ranges from engineering, computer science, biotechnology, management. They're all in English. And you can absolutely do it without speaking one word of German going through this whole 2 years. But of course, life outside of university, it's mainly German. Supermarkets, bakeries, it's all German. And you will have a much easier time to find a job, for example, afterwards, speak German. So what I recommend to everyone, use your time. Usually you don't rush into your application. Usually it takes a student a year or two, for example, to prepare, to get to really know, okay, where do I want to go? And then use this time really to prepare for German. Do like an A1, do like an A2 maybe. It really enhances your chances as well, because the universities see, okay, you have already taken your time and you're not just like, Germany is not just one country out of many, but you're really focused already. And then during university, you continue with your German studies, like a B1, B2 maybe, and then maybe a part-time job during the time or internship already in German maybe. And then you have very high chances of like finding a job afterwards. I have seen people who spent their time like 2 years, 2 entire years at university and stayed in an English community bubble basically, and they had trouble finding a job afterwards in Germany, because especially if you're out of the bigger cities, German is the main language. So I really recommend to everyone to learn German, but it's not really a big struggle. It looks, at the beginning, it looks difficult, but then if you get over time basically, and if you take your time and put a lot of effort into it, it's absolutely manageable.
Perfect. So you mean to say that it is advisable, it is suggestible to at least have a basic command over the language.
Yes.
Whether your medium is English, if you are, because mostly students are going to learn in English medium program for the masters.
Yes.
And we are here talking especially about the master's program in Germany in various universities for different disciplines. So it is advisable to have some basic knowledge of German language so that they don't find any difficulty, they can sustain over there, and they can also find easily a part-time job, which is very, very crucial for a student.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you go to France or Spain, for example, you try to learn French or Spanish, and if you go into the US, you need to be able to speak English. It's the same with Germany. They offer they offer classes in English, masters in English, which is perfectly fine. Then if you want to dig deeper into society, integrate yourself, become part of society, you need to be able to speak German. That's for sure.
Yes. So you mean to say that your life is not within the university, your life is beyond the university. When you go out of the campus, whether in the supermarket or in theater or in kino, or to just have a chat or to purchase a SIM card, just for a simple thing, you have some knowledge of German. How can you ask? How can you talk the shopkeeper in German? Bitte, ist müsste ein paar Flaschen, ist müsste ein Brot haben, ist müsste eine SIM-Karte. So that's the main thing. Absolutely right. You must have basic knowledge of German. That I always tell to my students. Doesn't matter what's your medium in Germany for education, whether it's German, it's perfect. If it's in English, then you must acquire some knowledge. It's better if you get this knowledge from India, at least some basic knowledge, then you land up in Germany.
Yeah.
You feel very confident and you have a really good time over there.
Yes, exactly.
All right, very good information. Now I come to my next question. There are students who have not scored, unfortunately, good marks in their bachelor's, maybe 60% or sometimes below 60%. So do you think do they have any chance to study in Germany as a master program?
Yeah, I get this question asked very often. And very often students, they ask me, hey, do I have a chance actually to apply? Because there's no strict criteria, right? Very often. And of course, the grades matter. But I think there's around 80% of the universities that have no grade requirement. They basically say, okay, you just apply and we will see basically if you fit. And there's a lot of things you can do actually. Be aware, there's a lot of consultancies who try to guarantee you, like with your book with us, we guarantee you an admission in university. It's not possible. It's just not possible. You cannot guarantee this. Everyone who tells you that is a fraud, basically, because it doesn't work like that. Public universities are much different than private universities, and because there's no like tuition involved, there's no money involved, like not a lot of money involved. It just works a lot different than accepting everyone, basically. What they do is, of course, they look at the grades, but of course they look at different things as well. And if you have only scored like 60%, for example, there's always one thing you can do. Like there's a letter of motivation where you describe why you want to pursue this specific course, for example. And you can justify your marks there as well, of course. Like, for example, did you have a lot of money doing your studies, and you had to work a full-time job to sustain yourself, and had to work actually by side and study by on the side, because you just didn't have a lot of money, or your mother was sick, for example, and you had to focus on that and had to study at the side, for example. There's a lot of things you can do and describe why you have not achieved the best marks, for example. And it shows a lot more having a great letter of motivation why you want specifically this university, and you can explain yourself. Then, for example, what I see very often at consultancies, copying just one letter of motivation in the internet, like putting in the name and the details, and that's it. Letter of motivation is a super important tool, and you can justify basically anything. And even if you don't have high marks or good grades, if you have, for example, internships or practical experience, or let's say you have extracurricular activities that support why you want to pursue this specific master or this specific field, it's absolutely possible. Yeah, I absolutely think so.
So in brief, we can say that in case the students have scored 60% or below that, and they should not be disappointed, they should not be dejected, because still you have the power. You can write a very good motivation.
Yeah.
You can write very good motivation, and you can justify yourself that still your marks doesn't matter, but you have the command, you have the knowledge of your stream, whatever you have studied in the bachelor's. On the basis of that, you can grab the very good opportunity in the public university.
Very often students are too afraid to apply because they think they will be rejected anyway. And when you do that, you are being rejected automatically because you don't apply. But if you apply for, like, let's say 10 universities, for example, you still have a higher chance of getting admission. And you absolutely need to pursue this opportunity.
Exactly, because there are people who are already depressed. I would say there are negative thoughts, negative people around us. So we should avoid these people. There is a life. Marks are not everything. Even in the German course, we say that you just don't think that you have to pass the examination, Goithe. You have to score good only if you are able to speak well. So automatically, if you speak good German, you have good command over the language. You can sustain anywhere. Similarly, if you have good knowledge of your subject, you have done very good in a bachelor, but somehow you could not score well. So you can write that in your motivation schreiben. You can write why you should be the right candidate for this university in that particular course. So that makes a chance, and you can easily get through. So I think marks doesn't matter. So please write your motivation schreiben, justify yourself, what all you have done. Write all your achievements, all your extracurricular activities, whatever you have done so far, your advantages, your strength. Basically, mention your strength in the motivation, so that.
And beware of people around yourself who give you advice, because very often they have no idea what they're doing, but they're telling you you can't do this, or you can't do that, or you should do this, and you have no chance of doing that. watch out of those people. Very often they have not done it themselves. They have no idea what they're doing. They just think they're giving you advice, but you should not listen to the advice. Rather listen to people who have already done it, who know what they're doing. And be really careful with those false friends.
Exactly. Definitely. That's why today we have Manuel with us, who is already a German citizen who has studied in Germany and who has spent the entire life in Germany, means native German. So who can enlighten something, who can give us some good information. And it can be an eye opener for most of us, because the students, they are not aware about the exact thing. They are not aware about the exact happening application process, what's happening, what are the criteria. So there are people who have never been to Germany, who are not aware about even the German language. So please avoid these people, be away from these people, and try to get the genuine and original, authentic information as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good, very well thought, very good answer from your side. I think this is going to be help a large number of students here in India.
Yeah.
Now, again, very good question I have got from one of my students. Sir, I have done my bachelor's in arts stream, humanities. He's neither from engineer background nor from medical background. That is called medicine auf Deutsch.
Yeah.
But he wants to make a career. He wants to work in Germany. He wants to study in Germany. This is the dream of that student. So what he or she can do?
Regarding human sciences now?
Yeah, because there's a very popular thought that German is famous for only engineering and doctors or medical students.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all,
the other students.
So yeah, absolutely. So first of all, that's true. German is very known for engineering, computer science, all those different courses basically. And the most courses that are offered in English are actually computer science, engineering, biotechnology, maybe electrical engineering, mechatronics. So it's really the rather technical side. You should always look and decide specifically why you want to go to Germany, right? If you want to study, for example, American literature or English literature, it might not make as much sense. It might make more sense to go to the US, for example, because the chances are not the opportunities are not just not available as much in Germany. I've had one student who wanted to pursue his master's in yoga. That's just not possible. That's just not possible because it's not existent in Germany, right?
Exactly.
So you need to really specifically know, hey, what are you looking for? What are you specifically looking for?
But a person from India can teach yoga in Germany. He can make his career.
Absolutely. He can absolutely do his career in Germany, but a classical education, like university education, bachelor, master, that doesn't exist for yoga, for example. There's a lot of people who do who have schools, for example, for yoga, and yoga is super popular, but it's not a classical, typical theoretical career or theoretical education. It's completely different. It's completely different. That's why I always say, hey, figure out exactly what you want to do and why you want to do it, and then does Germany actually fit? Right? If you want to become an English teacher, for example, does an education in Germany make sense? If you want to become a German teacher in India, for example, it makes a lot more sense to have an education in German, to learn the language and then go back and teach, for example. But yeah, if you focus on the classical engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, automotive engineering, especially, computer science, artificial intelligence, all those classical courses, it makes a lot of sense to go to Germany. Everything's beside that.
The management courses? These are
absolutely. Management courses. There's so many management courses. I think there's roughly 50 management courses probably who are taught in English in Germany. So that absolutely makes sense. Yes, but you always have to think, okay, why do I specifically choose Germany? And again, back to the letter of motivation, right? You have to justify your career, or you have to justify as well why you want to go to this specific university. And if you say, for example, because in Germany tuition fees are low, that's not a good justification. You need to dig a little deeper, and you need to justify why specifically. What do you like about the course? What do you like about the university, how do I can imagine it being helpful for my career, for example. That's the most important thing.
Perfect. Means your goal, your target should be clear what you want to do.
Yes.
But
Yes.
there are options, there are possibilities. Go ahead and apply.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Now, when we are talking about the application process, so is it possible for a student living in India to apply on his own instead of going or approaching to an agent or any third person?
Yes. I'm actually like I'm being asked this as well, like very often. And so many students, they approach me and they are really kind of afraid because they have a dream of going to Germany, but because they have not matched a lot of information, it seems really complicated. It's basically like learning a language, and you try to learn on your own without having a teacher who can guide you. So a lot of the students, they go to a consultancy, which is kind of expensive. But our mission is, as I said already, we've built the app. We have built an app that will guide you through the process. And this app I would like to show you now, if that's okay, Aditya.
Yeah, just have a look of the
yes,
application.
I will share my screen now. And this is basically our website. So if you come to our website, which is squicker.de, we will put it on in the description as well, squicker.de, and then you sign up here to go to our app, and then you create an account, and then you will find yourself in this tool basically where we guide you step by step through the whole process, starting here with a welcoming message, and then you will see basically all things you need. We will have to every topic, we will have a webinar, roughly an hour, where you can ask personal questions, where we have a student from Germany, actually like an Indian student from Germany, actually talking about the specific subject. And we also have a lot of documents prepared here. So you can check, hey, what are the most common questions? Very important, of course, always is how to finance it, basically. How does it work? How much money do you need? How much money does life in Germany cost every month, for example? How much does an apartment cost? You will find all those information here, and then you can guide yourself. Basically, you can check, hey, am I financially capable? Do I need an education loan, for example, or can I figure it out myself? And then basically you go step by step through the entire process. You can find a tool here where we explain to you, okay, how to select your universities, for example. With that, you basically just say, hey, you have a CGPA of let's say 8.2. And your current field is management. You are interested in management or economics, but you have not done an IELTS yet, which is perfectly fine. And then you see immediately 36 courses which might fit to your specific requirement. Like, for example, business, you want to do maybe accounting, you're interested in international tourism, entrepreneurship, international management, logistics, absolutely up to you. You can just go and select it step by step. And when you have done that, let's see, for example, logistics, you can also see the criteria immediately, right? And when you have to apply, what kind of documents do you need, basically? And when you have done that, in every chapter we have another webinar, article, and so you go step by step. We teach you how to prepare your application, what you need, how to prepare it, how to organize your documents, how to which ways are there to apply Uni Assist, for example, or directly at the university. We teach you how to get a German student visa. What documents do you need for that? How much money does it cost? And in the end, we tell you how to get started. How do you find an apartment? What kind of insurance do you need? What are the first things to do when you go to City Hall or to the apartment? What kind of fees do you have to pay? And for every chapter, we have again a webinar where we talk specifically about it. So it's absolutely no problem. And if you still have no idea what to do, have a specific question, you just join our WhatsApp and our Telegram group, our community. and you can ask a question there, and we will make sure to answer your question. So I don't see a reason why you specifically need to pay 1 lakhs to an education consultant.
Perfect. This is the information that every student wants to have at the proper time.
I have spoken to so many students, and they basically told us, hey, it saved us months basically. Or students saying, hey, I looked at the tool, it was really helpful, and it saved me like so many emotions, because I was always worrying, hey, my deadlines are coming nearer. Like I want to go in a year, for example, but I have no idea how to do it. And so do I have to really pay a lot of money to the consultant, or can I just relax for now and find all the information? And that's perfectly helpful for them. And I hope it's helpful for a lot of people, actually.
Perfect. So really very good information, very informative things that we have got today in this session. So at the last, I would just say thank you, Manuel, for being with us and taking your precious time. And I hope this session is going to be very helpful and very informative for all our viewers, whether they are living in India or in Germany, because we are students, we have our viewers also in Germany. So you must watch, and this is going to be very helpful.
Yes.
So see you very soon in the one new session with some more information on the new topic. Yeah. So thanks once again.
My last message is basically just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You can do it yourself. It looks harder than it is. And with what we provide, you can absolutely do it yourself. And even if you think, hey, you have low marks or are very tight on cash, you can always do it. And it's a lot easier than you think, actually. You don't have to be scared of those consultancies. And I think what happens right now is actually a lot of people who could actually do it and are trying to do it. And this is what I want to help people with. And with our tool, it's absolutely possible.
Very good, because students are also apprehensive. They are also in double mind. Why Manuel is here to help all of us? Why he's doing such a social work sitting in Germany for all the students sitting in India? So thank you so much for being with us. This is very informative video and very informative session for not only a student, just also for me as a trainer also.
Perfect.
So thank you so much once again for being with us.
Thanks a lot. It was great being here. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.